Now, as far as, you know, the sewer, this is not a tax. This is not a proposal of a new tax. I'm just going to call it, rounded off to the nearest dollar, the $40 sewer fee that is on your water bill every single month pays for the infrastructure. The sewer is a collection system, not a delivery system. And the infrastructure that is in place is there to collect the sewage and take it to the sewage treatment plant to be treated. Whether anything's going into that sewer or not, the cost had to be expended to put the sewer system in and to have some place for it to go. It also, the cost of maintaining the system, cleaning the system, and expanding the system when it reaches capacity and we need to put in larger lines or relief lines. So the County of Kern, I believe, charges us 22 cents an account to put it on the tax rolls. That's cheaper than a postage stamp to mail the bill. So that is the, in a nutshell, that is the reason for it. And I mean, I'm not a tax expert. She just left, but I do believe that if it is on your property tax bill, that you can write it off. But like I said, I don't know that for a fact, but I assume you can. Everything that's on my property tax, I write off my income tax, you know, property tax, assessment fees, and everything else. So that's my comments on it.
What you will pay on your property tax is the exact same thing you would pay monthly on your monthly bill. When we failed to do this last year, I voted for us to go ahead and do it, and we voted not to do that. But when we did that last year, I made a mistake and bought a rental house when I thought the economy had dipped all the way down to got a loan and bought a house. And it went a lot lower than when I bought. So I have a single rental, and I have excellent renters. And after last year, us looking at this and determining that they had been paying the sewer fee, $40 a month, besides the rent to me. And I felt that fee belongs to the property owner, not the person living in the house. And so I lowered their monthly rent by $40. They're still paying it to the water district, but their monthly rent is lower $40. I think it's a just thing to do. The owner should be paying for the sewer, not somebody renting the home. If the owner wants to raise the rent to cover that, then that's their choice.
Address how the foreclosed property fees would be collected. Yeah, when a property goes into foreclosure, bankruptcy, delinquencies, how that would actually be collected. I think the public needs to understand that.
When a property goes into foreclosure, it's subject to paying all fees, taxes, etc. With the property, the obligation remains. So whatever is owed on that property, when it's sold, should be disclosed by the tax assessor and or the seller, I would imagine, but they're still recoverable.
Yeah, I think that's a point that any of the foreclosed properties that we've experienced, none of those fees have been recovered. And with this, putting it on the property tax bill, then at least those fees certainly would be recoverable.
Correct.
This direct web, I just want to show the community when we look at numbers. If you look at the loss currently at $454,000, $721. So things
Rick, can you hold it closer to your mouth, because we can't really hear you?
I said, if we're looking at the $454,721 loss now, if this played out and the economy didn't improve, and you say this went another 2.5, 3 years, we're looking at right at $1 million, about $909,000. And the bad part about this, that's money that we don't capture anymore. And I think when you look at what we're trying to do, from protecting the community's, the ratepayers' wealth and all, this is something that we're not charging any more money. We're just moving away that the money gets collected. And I think the numbers speak very loud and very clear here. We're at a $454,000 that we will not get, and this is something that we want to continue to do. That would be the concern that I would have with the tax roll the way it's not now.
Jane, if you own a home and rent it to somebody else, yes, it will change. You will start paying it now instead of the renter. So if you're an investor and have properties, you're going to start paying for it. And either you increase your rents or whatever you're doing, or you're going to have to eat it. So I can understand investors owning and rentals that have that concern.
But we are in fact, and I'm sensitive about this, that if you have investment properties or rentals, then we are looking to the property owner to secure the sewer bill. So there is a slight change in that, and Director Byron did address that.
Okay. Steve, did you have some comments?
Hey, Greg, this is Director Webb again. I have one other additional comment. You know, when we vote on something, I want to make sure the public knows that we don't vote on things that just impact them. Anything that's voted on also impacts the rest of as much as the community. And I think when we look at the word budget, you're not adding to a budget, you're just moving the money around in a budget. And let's be mindful of that, and the money, I don't use the old phrase that we're leaving on the table, but that becomes a very big number that's left sitting on the table that we can't get back to anymore. Thank you.
I do. We look at a significant loss of revenue, and constantly we hear from the community, how are we reducing the rates? And the only thing that we have been trying to do since I've been here is to do things efficiently so that we don't incur excessive costs, and to ensure that we capture the revenues that we're supposed to be capturing, so it does not cause us to have to prematurely look at our rates again. We don't like raising rates any more than anyone else likes having them raised. But after this last 5 years, implemented 5 years ago, we're trying our best to capture the revenue that's necessary to operate and that was anticipated to operate the system. So Director Webb brought up was extremely appropriate, because the numbers that I have laid out are for the past year's losses, not the future year's losses if we don't do something. So I think it's incumbent on me to advise the board when we're losing revenue and propose a way to recover those. And you properly indicated that this is not a tax. We are just changing the method of collection.
Well, basically starting with July 1st, the $40 a month drops off the water bill, and so it appears like there's been a rate reduction just in time for the November election. I appreciate your honesty, because that's exactly what you said. What has not been addressed is What about some senior citizen who has paid for their home, doesn't have a house payment? Now they have a $480 bill. It's going to accrue to their tax records every year. So instead of having a, I don't know, $700-800 tax bill every year, now it's gone up 50%.
To me, and I think it's fair.
And that's another thing. The just thing is for you to tell the owner whether he should pay or not. Obviously, the owner can make the decision now whether he wants to or not anyway. The bigger issue is you're putting this on the tax bill. It's no longer in your control. You're claiming that you're going to save all this money, but it takes 5 years for you to foreclose on a home. The county's going to foreclose on a tax bill. You're assuming there's going to be taxes, and the other thing is it fair for a vacant property to continue to pay in the sewer? Obviously, they don't put in as much. Obviously, they got to pay for the lines that are there in the streets, but they're not using what's actually there, and they're not paying for what's going on in the pond. And that's
Currently, foreclosed homes, investors who have homes and they're renting them out, and sometimes they're empty, they're beating us out of money to the tune of $400,000. And who's picking that up? All the other people.
the people are actually using the sewer,
But they're paying not only theirs, but those who are
not using the sewer.
not using the sewer because they're sitting idle. The sewer costs the same thing, whether it's operating or not.
Okay, Olaf, when it comes to a sewer, I want to address this one part. The sewer is in service whether a house is depositing into it or not. The sewer is a collection device, not a delivery like your water.
Okay, the 5 minutes is my talking time, not your talking time, right?
Good point.
Okay, my name's Terry Landsgaard. I'm here as a resident of Rosamond. And to me, it's kind of sad that you guys send out water bills every month, but you couldn't put this information on that you guys were going to vote on it. So transparency in our government is really not quite there, because you guys could have notified the public pretty easy. I think if the public would have been notified, I think you'd maybe seen the same type of results you seen when we dealt with the lighting district last time, where there was no room to sit in this place. So when you say the public's represented here, I would say just a really small part of the public's represented on that project. You talk about the income that you guys lost. Well, I think that's projected income. You guys project how much you're going to get for water, how much you're going to get for sewer. So that money, $138,000 last year, was projected income. But I know Pan owns the Devonshire Inn. He has 30 units, and I'm sure he projects income on those units, but he doesn't project that he's going to receive all that money. So that's a projected income. You understand that a part of that income just doesn't come in. So your idea of putting it on the property taxes is going to help a lot. It's maybe not going to help as much as you thought. You talked, I didn't hear anything about a price increase, or in this resolution, are you going to be able to raise that sewer rate 1 or 2 or 3% every year as everything else escalates? Or is it just fixed at that $40? Would you guys like to address that one item?
Steve, would you like to?
Excuse me, President, I would recommend
I think,
that we let them
hold on,
complete their
hold on.
statements before we vote. That way they get all 5 minutes.
Well, I was just wondering, because we haven't heard anything about that, and if you're given this proposal, how great it is for our community, that's kind of an important fact. I mean, if it's going to be $39.80, and then next year it's going to be $40.50, that is an important item. What I like to address is the retired people. I know, Glennan, you said you're retired, but if you're making $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000 on retirement, it's not quite the same as somebody that's making $1,000. There's a lot of people in our community that retired here. They have to pay their taxes, their water bill. You talk about we're just switching it from the bill every month to their property taxes. But when you think about it, if I'm paying $60 a month and I'm retired, I have that budgeted every month to pay. Well, come July, all of a sudden my water bill goes down to $20, which is kind of nice. But you think I'm going to be wise enough or frugal enough to put that in the piggy bank, so when I get that additional $480 in taxes in December, that I'll be able to pay it. Well, if the people are on a fixed income, I think it's going to be a lot harder to save that $40. It's just going to get spent maybe on a few extra groceries or something else. So from the older people's standpoint of view, the people that are retired, this is a big thing for them. And you address the rental income or the rental people in Rosamond. The rents have went down. I have one client that has $1,000 a month payment. His place was sitting vacant for 4 months. Yes, he did not have the water on, but he had to pay $4,000 a month, or $4,000 for the 4 months for it to sit vacant. It would have been another $160 for each month on the sewer rate. So, you know, from one perspective, you're talking about projected income. Yes, that's projected, but you don't always collect all the money when you have projected income. That's the max. That's the max Pan could collect on his motel for 30 nights thing. But some nights he only has 1 or 2 rooms. So you maybe have to look at your budget a little bit more and maybe make some corrections along the way and make some adjustments down. So I really want to know, is there a built-in adjustment on that sewer rate that's going to go on our taxes? So is it going to go up like all the rest of our taxes? That's my question.
Hey, Steve, you want to address that?
Yeah, I think I'd like to address the comments that Mr. Landsgaard made in regard to that we anticipated the loss already. If he recalls, back in a meeting that he probably didn't attend in 2009, in the engineer's report, a rate was established based on the information that the engineer's report contained. When that rate was established, there was an anticipated level of recovery based on the number of connections at that time. Now that we have delinquencies, we have people that are not paying for vacancies, we're losing revenue. And that's what we're addressing right now. The revenues we lost are gone. We need to stop the loss by doing what is being proposed.
This community since 1980. And so you say that you're going to charge property owners $40, so that means even though Steve worked the things on the lighting, we got it on, it's going to be on the ballot. You have a ballot going out for the street light. At that time, I'm going to be paying approximately close to $600, and he got it down to $200 or something like that. And I appreciate that, Steve. But what happened is, with the sewer rates of $40, that means that I have 17 apartments. I'm going to be paying $40 more for each apartment, and that amounts to about $640. And you say, well, you can add it on to the rent. Right now, the amount of money I'm getting for my apartments is at tops, because other people can rent them for cheaper than I can rent them, but I have to have that amount of money. If I add another $40 for the sewer bill onto my account to pay for that and go to taxes. And the second question is there anyone in Kern County that says that they are paying their sewer rates to the county? Anyone in Kern County?
I don't have that information.
I know Tehachapi
I'll tell you another thing. Where do you live?
I live here in Rosamond.
Well, where do you work?
I work in, Palmdale.
And you just told me that Palmdale and LA County collect their sewer rates on the tax bill.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do, but no one in Kern County does the same thing. Okay? So what happened is, we have a different things and all the things we got going. But the most important thing, there's no one in Kern County that is having their tax bill, their sewer rates collected by the county. Only in LA County. So what happened is,
I don't know if that's a fact or not, but I will take your word for it at this time, because I don't have.
and
any
so what happened is
information
that
Otherwise.
the lighting bills, I appreciate that, but I can't add any of that to my rates that I'm charging right now. For my
Bob, can I ask
two-bedroom
you-
apartments,
can I
I'm
ask you a
getting
question?
$690 a month. They can rent other apartments in Rosamond right now for a cheaper rate than that. A lot of houses, I walk around this community and do everything else. But I'm saying is, you did the right thing when you put it on the ballot to have the people vote. Then I would suggest you do the same thing that you did for the lighting district. I have a ballot at home, excuse me. And so what happened is, a ballot at home, I can vote. I suggest you do the same thing with the sewer rates. This is a democratic society. Let the people vote. Are you afraid to let them vote?
Bob, I'd like to ask you one question before you step down. How much are you paying a month right now for your sewer, for your apartments?
Right now, I haven't the slightest idea because I have Charlene Melcher doing all my books. And so I can ask her that.
But the money that you're paying right now per month for your sewer it's not gonna change. You're still gonna pay the same amount. It's just gonna come on your property tax bill,
Yeah,
not in your monthly water.
My property tax right now, last year, was $8,940. I don't need any more bills on my property tax.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, my name is Patel, and I'm owner of Devonshire Motel. No, we are talking about you guys talking about the business decision, right? How many business does 100%? Mr. Wood, would you tell me?
I don't know. Don't have that.
Can you find out and do that? All the hotels going up, are they gonna be 100%? All the apartments are 100%? What makes you think you should get 100% revenue? I mean, it's part of the budget. You gotta cut the budget. You're talking about business decision and 100% revenue income, right? That's what I've been hearing all that, am I right? I don't know. Show me one company that gets 100% revenue.
You get 100% from a person that comes into your motel, or they pay you 80%?
40%.
No,
Right.
your fee for your motel room.
That's what I
You get
budgeted.
100% of it, or do they only pay 40% of what you're
My
charging?
40% occupancy, that's how budgeted my expense.
How much do you charge for a motel room?
$60.
Do they pay you $60?
Yes.
So you get 100% for what you're asking,
What
right?
he's saying is
Not 30, all 30 rooms, no, I do not.
No, if the 30 rooms
That's
were
what I like
full,
to get, sure.
if the 30 rooms, and you built that into your business plan, I would.
So why can't you, I mean, why do you want to push this bill on tax bill and make a burden of these local people, like Mr. Olaf said? Senior citizen people, we have irresponsible people.
I can
And you make a
understand,
burden on the community.
I can understand
No,
this
you're
is
not.
a burden.
It is a
on-
burden.
I can understand it's a burden on investors and property owners who haven't been paid.
Investors want to raise the rent.
I can understand that.
Once, I remember you say you live on $40,000 budget. I don't think so. I do not believe that. Once, am I right, in meeting 3 people over here, you say you live on $40,000 budget? No, people cannot live. They have to budget their stuff. And show me one company that makes 100%. Even Walmart, when they sell, they have certain loss, percentage of loss. That's a part of the business. And putting burden on the people, putting, like Bob said, he's paying $8,000 and putting $12,000 or $13,000 tax bill would be a burden for him. He didn't realize when he was on the board and what he was doing. When he sees the bill, he squawks.
If he's paying the sewer now, each month, it won't change. If the renter is paying the sewer bill, it will change.
Well, he has to jack up the rent and everybody else, and somebody
Just tell me, that's the way it's gonna work. So I can understand investors and property owners.
So we need to
being
budget and
concerned.
cut that cost somewhere. There's no 100%, that's what you're trying to do. If they're not, Mr. Olaf said, when the water's not being used, we don't have that much to maintain. Like my rooms are not filled up, I don't have to maintain them, I don't have to clean them. It just costs less automatic that much. And that's how hotels are, or apartments, or any other business. So I think this is wrong decision for community. And if you want to be fair, like Bob said, you did the lighting industry and send, how much did you spend in money last year on that? Why don't we just send a letter with the water bill and let them vote, and if people decide, I have no problem. Why are we hiding? I didn't get valley press, somebody told me, and then I had to read what this board's gonna do. Why don't we do it on the bill? You send out bill every month, and let's put the vote. Would you like to have a sewer bill on the tax roll or not? And just to be fair, I don't have a problem. If you get more people to vote for it, that's we should do. But I request that board should consider and send them mail with the next bill and put them, let them vote. If you think you want to play fair, that's fine. If the public will speak out, that's all I have to say.
From Joseph Hamp, this is a temporary assignment until we can find a new accountant. Joe Happ is retiring, and when is, Joe's already left, when is his last day? Tomorrow's his last day. So, right now, as of tomorrow, we will be without a treasurer, and we need to have somebody in that position to fill the gap.
I'll move.
Do I have a second? Okay, Vice President Webb seconds. Any discussion? Okay, Steve, go ahead.
Yes, what this entails is the CPAs will do all the paperwork, and I will review and approve. And this is, as you said, a temporary move until we get replacement.
Okay. And who are the CPAs, Steve?
Get the name from Lizette, I don't have it in front of me.
Okay. Can we
Can you give them the name of the?
stand up and identify yourself as the CPA that's going to be doing all of the financial work, and we'll be presenting it to Steve until we get a permanent treasurer named.
Certainly. As a representative of a California-based CPA firm, Byron, Trine and Day, we will be replacing Joe in terms of his responsibilities as the district accountant on a contract basis.
Thank you. Okay, and we have a comment from Olaf Langen for our accountant, who is retired as of tomorrow.
Who, and he was also your treasurer?
Yes. But he's in a, basically a contract employee, and so therefore Steve is going to be named as the treasurer, but he's not going to actually have any, he'll be handling all of the financial paperwork and then reporting to Steve the same as Joe Happ would have been doing.
I guess my main concern, if I can speak to both, the next item on the agenda as well. You're making Steve the general manager treasurer. I don't know if you ever want to put anybody in a position where they're in charge of the district, they're also in charge of the finances without any review. If you could look at maybe adding to resolution 2014-7 that you're
Steve,
going to.
would you like to address that?
Yes, that would be a concern if it was on a long term, but it's a short term until we get a replacement. We have to continue doing business.
Okay, understood. And then the other thing on 2014-7 doesn't say anything about how many signatures are required. This resolution authorizes the withdrawal of funds. It's probably best to make sure you have something that says
The form itself requires two.
the form of the withdrawal.
Right,
There's nothing in the resolution that says that.
Right, so they won't let you do the transfer on the resolution, there's another form that goes with it, that requires 2 signatures.
I mean, there might be something in the resolution that says if we're gonna, the following district officers or their successors in office shall be authorized
Olaf,
to order deposit.
we're discussing item C, we're not discussing item D yet.
Well, item B has the name / treasurer under steep res, so that, I guess you kind of are. That's my concern, there should be, that should be part of the resolution, so.
Well, there's always been 2 signatures, and if it's not in there, we can make it correct. Item D, discussion and possible action to adopt resolution 2014-7, amending the authorization of investment of monies in the local agency investment fund. And do you have any further comments on that, Olaf?
So just if you could add, like I said, where it said be it further resolved, 2 signatures are required as per the form.
Okay, and can I get a motion to approve the...
Hey, Mr. President,
Yes,
Director Webb here. Just, if you could just share with Olaf, that I can vouch for the fact that the checks that go out require multiple signatures, as the fact that I've been called to the district's office to sign checks to ensure that everything's in compliance, and we do have policies that cover all this, as far as the checks are going out, who's putting signatures on it.
I think that's all
The
right.
investments here that we're talking about now, nothing could happen without board approval and the president or another director's signature on it. So the safeguards are in place. I appreciate Olaf's concern about the safeguards are in place and all these issues, all the matters that we're doing now, have to have things addressed until we have a new CPA in place at the district office.
And I concur with Director Webb that it has always been our policy, and it is our policy, that every check takes 2 signatures.
This is coming from a special fund though, is that right?
The LAIF fund.
Which would be around a large check.
Mr. President,
Yes,
again, in this transition period, if there's a concern, I sit as the chair of the finance committee, and I'm available to address anything as far as an emergency from a signature standpoint. But I think the fact that our GM is available daily when these matters come up, that's why we're trying to have it done in such a manner that when the matters come up, they can be addressed so we don't hold anything up.
okay, 15-7.
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion is made by Director Glennan, seconded by Director Wallace. This is a roll call vote.
Vice President, Brickwell,
Yes?
Director Kathleen Sport, Director Byron Glennan,
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace,
Yes.
President Craig.
Yes.